about like the actual physical location is really important, and bioregional relevance is really important for people, for their impact, but also for their enterprises. So I definitely getting on the same boat with that.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, focused on the enterprise business side of it and helping, right, these conglomerates that we know can move the world because they're doing it right now, do it more mindfully and consciously and regeneratively. That's beautiful. Cool. Awesome to connect with you, Emily. Yeah. Nicole's idea and our idea was for you to join the call, maybe to get an understanding of what's going on over here on our side. We'll be hosting this call weekly in an effort to keep our community updated. And as we are growing as a collective, right, working, I would love your feedback on the hierarchical and linear of like leader group telling employees and subordinates what to do. It's a horizontal model where we are each leaders in our departments, in our efforts, in our initiatives, and are all converging on, again, this embodiment of the regenerative movement, which are regenerative neighborhoods, in our opinion. We are a tight-knit group. We live together, have been living together for years, for months, and are full hands on deck with the following plan that we have shared as Regen Tribe that we feel will empower the regenerative neighborhood movement. And taking that a page from traditional corporations and businesses, we've divided our focuses into 6 sectors or departments, you can call them. And this is what this call will be about, to discuss each one of those departments very lightly, high level, sharing our objective and key results for each one of these departments. Here on the screen is our mind map for the nonlinear thinkers. And for the more linear thinkers, we have a Google Doc where we'll be sharing notes and topics, and people can feel free to comment and share information as well. You want to kick off?
I would love to say something. Yeah, so this is really important, I feel. I think especially because we're also operating as a collective. And so we see Seeds of Tao as one of our sister organizations. And one of the things that we practice is collaboration and finding out, like, what do we have in abundance that can serve you, and what do you have in abundance that can serve us, and how we can combine that for the greater mission and movement, right? So there's all this opportunity. I feel I see it every day, rather than working in like, oh, they're just, they're in their organization doing their thing.
Yeah.
We can mushroom together, and through this exchange of, we're having these calls, which are meant to update people with everything that's going on with each other, and with our efforts in the movement. And then we're going to have also calls on Wednesdays where we're just doing resource dumps, like resource show and tell. Like, everyone, if you have a book, if you have an article or a website or a podcast or a master plan of a community that you thought was really cool and you wanted to share, we're just all dumping them so we can catalog them, and everybody has access to the same knowledge, because like we see knowledge is very, very powerful in this space. So where is Seeds of Tao in the moment, where like with how you're collaborating, how well, here, I'll take you, I'll let you
kind of
speak.
I think, yeah, so we definitely want to know about Seeds of Tao, right? We are going to be recording this call. Are we recording already?
Yes, we're recording.
Okay, yeah, we're recording this call, and so we would love to hear about Seeds of Tao. Would you like to share that like shortly here and give us a little tidbit, or would you like to hear about kind of our initiative and the departments and how people can get involved with them, and then see if if that sparks any like instant ideas for synergy and collaboration, because that's what these calls are really about.
Either way, I don't know that one's necessarily more beneficial than the other. I don't want to throw off your guys' groove of your meeting too much. So either way is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can share the departments and
cool.
maybe hear your feedback. You will have a better idea of what we're up to right now, what we were up to in the last 1.5 years, and see where we can co-create and come together.
So are you guys operating as an NGO? How are you guys operating?
Yeah, we have a nonprofit in the US called the New Activist. That kind of spawned this project. Regen Tribe as a unit, we're launching a business here in Mexico for it, an LLC of sorts.
Okay.
And that's how we'll be incorporated here to do business in Mexico. Eventually, maybe we'll branch to the US as well, but for now, Mexico's fine, how we're operating, since most of our physical projects that we are focused on are here in the region.
Cool. We're down in Panama, so we're like almost neighbors
Oh, cool.
with a few
Okay,
countries
very
in the
nice.
middle.
Sweet. Yeah, it's super cool you're here, because you'll give us such a great perspective on, right, your focus being organizations operating regeneratively and optimizing in that direction, for you to see kind of what our structure is looking like right now. And I'm super excited to hear your feedback on it.
Cool.
So as you can see on the screen, this is our mind map. Regen Tribe, the way we envision supporting and empowering this regenerative neighborhood movement comes in various formats. The top that you see is the Tribes platform, which is our initiative to create a networking platform. Our beta version is launched. We'll send you a link to it. And it is essentially a LinkedIn for users interested in finding regenerative neighborhoods and regenerative neighborhood land projects, where they can share their bio, they can share information and update about their projects, and they can connect with each other and users seeking to find regenerative neighborhoods with specific fields of information in their bios that users can filter and find. So that's the Tribe's digital platform. Our next focus is the Catalyzer. Nicole, you want to share a bit about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're collaborating with organizations to create educational material and be able to share like all of the best practices that we've been researching and compiling, combined with the collective amount of knowledge, in order to offer experiences that allow people to, we're calling it the Catalyzer because we see it as an agent of speeding up the ability to make these regenerative land projects possible faster and better, and improving the process for people so that they don't have to DIY and struggle alone, or for these communities to take longer, in the sense that climate crisis doesn't really afford for us to continue to live unsustainably. So we want to act with like heartfelt urgency for changing the way we live structurally and radically. And we see that possible through the exchange of knowledge and the improvement of frameworks and models that people can follow for best creation of these safe havens. I see them as safe havens of like, okay, we can live a regenerative lifestyle when we're in a system that is built regeneratively.
And the Catalyzer embodies as a guide, a reference to multiple guides that we have been finding and putting together through our journey of creating community land projects and regenerative neighborhoods that we're partnering with at the moment. Okay, the next section is an agency, right? Another department of our organization. The agency is an effort to one-on-one bring support to physical land projects that have certain pieces of the puzzle, as we've been observing, in abundance, and have other pieces of the puzzle a little bit lacking. From a land project here in very close to Tulum. A beautiful space, beautiful infrastructure, and seeking a bit more of the community culture element. Scheduling, organization, and daily practices to bring the space from a position of surviving and just existing every day to a space of thriving, where the permaculture installation could use a lot of love. And with a little bit of organization and energy and the right kind of volunteers and energy exchange community members and community members in general, this can all happen. So we're actually living here for the next few months. Again, back in our element of community, and also shooting content, telling our journey of places that are doing it, and with a bit of magic from people who are out there looking for these kinds of places to find them and get involved. So that's our agency department. The next department after that, which kind of goes hand in hand, is real estate and land development. Real estate and land development is exactly what it sounds like. These projects need land to call home, and they need the business practices, project management, operational and strategic support to take pieces of land and turn them into functional infrastructure, both sustainably for housing and for the accommodation of the community to thrive. So that department is focused both on helping buyers, humans interested in regenerative neighborhoods, to find and match with the right neighborhood for them, and also to help the vision holders at earlier stages of projects to find land and find the right service providers like architects, builders, sustainable service providers. And we are embodying this idea of a platform as an organization, right? We call it what it is. It's a concierge startup where we are the platform in this early phase, meeting projects, putting them in a spreadsheet, making sure we keep updated on them and share their updates through our social medias, so that these projects can get better at existing online, being found, and being matched with the right support for them. If you guys have anything to add, please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, some of the, in terms of land development, where we're just working with projects because there's so many disconnected dots of people who have land that they want to activate or have existing eco communities, but they're struggling. Like, they want to grow, they want to expand. One of our mainland projects has all of the public infrastructure, but is struggling to get people to actually live there. So one of our approaches is to offer the design of a regenerative neighborhood on a micro scale, like a prototype, to be able to get people living there in what we call the pioneer community, which is the first people to live there, to like kick off the ball. It's like, okay, most people don't want to live in a community if there aren't humans already. So we're inviting also kind of early adopters who are like, I would love to live in a community. Like, I would volunteer in work exchange. Like, what does it look like in order to get that culture, kind of like the flint and the spark of the first. And we also directly sponsor, this is our next department, you can say, like, we directly sponsor various projects here in Tulum to do with plastic waste and animal care and like the health of turtles and the coral reef here. And we also work with an eco village in Uganda that is wanting to invite in permaculture into a refugee camp nearby. So the eco village and the sustainable agriculturalists are offering to go visit, and these are all local Ugandans, to go visit and to help install a food system for this refugee camp. So that's another thing that's like close to our heart and part of our operations and what we see is really valuable. And then finally, there's the biozones, which is an initiative. You mentioned bioregionalism, and this is our manifestation of bioregionalism, specifically in the context of regenerative neighborhoods relating to one another. So this is a network of in between the villages, which we know we all want to see, like in between these regenerative spaces, so that they can create networks of mutual aid, anyone that's close to each other, that they can like be in communication and create like resilience in that way. So this is the main goal of the biozones, and also collecting data and research about the collective regenerative impact of these places, because numbers really speak in volumes when we're talking about getting governments on board, or larger organizations on board to also sponsor the creation of these regenerative spaces. So we've all thought through this very strategically. So I would love if you have any thoughts or reactions to this. from your organizational set.
I have some questions. You guys are open to some questions.
Super open.
So is who I'm looking at your whole team? Okay.
Yeah, we have team members, collective members in different places in the world. We have a real estate director who is currently in Japan, and when we talk about biozones, she's mapping projects that will create the Japanese biozone. We have a team member here that is not present.
Content creative director,
right?
Helping tell the story and share this journey of us as a collective and of the regenerative neighborhood movement at a macro and micro.
And also ambassadors, and we have one ambassador in Poland, we have one ambassador in Costa Rica, that are committing some time and energy to support the project and be part of the collective, because we share the same mission. So yeah, we are spread out and globally.
Yeah, we're nearly 10. Our advisor is currently in Australia. So we're nearly 10, over 10 members of the collective.
Cool.
Hi, everyone. I just want to tap in real quick. I realized I didn't time this really well. I didn't introduce myself in the beginning of the meeting, so it didn't flow really well. I would just like to say hi and thank you for sharing. And it's a pleasure meeting you, Emily. And yeah, my name is Julia. I'm part of Regen Tribe as well. And really excited for you to see you here.
Great. Yeah, nice to meet you. So how are you getting, what are your revenue streams? You talked about funding, and then you talked about doing installations, like kind of consulting installation work, but you're also saying that you're just kind of this platform that's connecting people. So what are the kind of the services that you're providing other than this platform that's revenue driving?
Okay, very directly, we are middlemen. As we help match potential middle humans, right?
Middle alien.
We're mycelium, right? We're a mycelium network. We're connectors. So in the relationships we've been building with these land projects, we have agreed upon commission structures, both for sales of land projects, so direct real estate, that's one of the departments, and also with service providers, as we are connecting service providers with projects who need them through our research and vetting process, we are getting commission as well from service providers we connect with land projects. For example, a 400-hectare project here in near Tulum is currently onboarding a permaculturist for a $60,000 2-hectare agroforestry installation. So these are our right away income revenue generating paths.
Right, because we connected the permaculturalist with this land project.
And also get involved in the process of managing the permaculture installations.
As we started the project, we have a very good friend who believes in this mission and is interested in compiling this research from himself. And he is actually handling a lot of the costs for our startup phase this last year and a half. Things like housing, things like initial development costs for our platform that is launched now, and different things like this. So we're operating in a really comfortable space of considering the 10 marshmallows later versus the 1 marshmallow now. And it's a really powerful place for us to be working from.
Cool. Cool. And I know that your creative person, which sounds like your marketing person is not here, right? Like that would be your marketing person?
We have a content, like a creative director who is doing images and storytelling, videos, editing, all of this. But core marketing, like who are we, right? Our Q1 goal was to describe what we do clearly. And this is our core here, the 3 of us. We're wearing the hats of all the departments, to be honest.
Of course.
Like us 3 and our partner in Japan are the core. Julia has been wrapping up a bunch of other things and is really excited to be back in Mexico and stepping back into the mix with like daily project stuff, ideally. And us 3 are really the core of presenting what we're doing. The one pager, open the one pager, please. The one pager that you're going to see here, right, was created by us. Julia started the beginning of this. Nicole stepped in and finished updating it from the last check-in that we had from last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything specifically about marketing that you were wondering?
Well, I was asking because if like the marketing person was not here, there was certain questions I couldn't necessarily ask, but I totally get it. Like the entrepreneurs are wearing all the hats and then
Definitely.
some, right?
This
like
is the phase.
hat on, hat on, hat on, hat. I totally get it. And with an organization like this, the founders are like this with the marketing because it's their message anyways. Like it's their vision. Like it's totally fine. So because this seems like really expansive, like really inclusive, but like also like a lot of different things.
It definitely is.
So, but my question is, who is your ideal client? Like, who are you trying to bring? Who are you trying to talk to?
We're a double-sided platform, and in the evolution will be a multi-sided platform in that our key demographic is the vision holder, landowner, project owners, the people who own land and are ready to turn them into neighborhoods effectively, or already have projects and are looking to take them to the next step of profitability and of inclusion to a growing community. Our second user is the land purchaser. Humans interested in living in regenerative neighborhoods and finding land, either coming in as investment or as purchasing to build their own homes, or even as visitors that want to pay rent to live in a place like a regenerative neighborhood. And then the third piece of it is the service providers, is the people who provide the services to these land projects, architects, permaculturists, etc.
I hear you. Okay. So you've got 3 segments.
Yes.
And so you're telling your story differently to each of them, I'm assuming.
We have prepared storylines for each of them, yes. Right
Actually,
now,
so remember the heroes circle?
right, the heroes
that came from
journey.
Seeds of Tao. Yeah, I don't know if you, the circles. Right?
Oh, I am aware of the circle.
I know. we mapped
the brand storytelling circle. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we share that. That's awesome to say.
No,
that.
it was a tool. I don't know if I shared
I remember,
from Seeds of Tao, and that was one of the things that we mapped out for the story and the journey that we want to take people on in this. Like, obviously it's a transition for many people to, for example, our mainland project was a traditional developer who had a near-death experience and now developed something sustainable. People are living in cities and they're feeling drained and without purpose, and they want to move into a regenerative neighborhood. So like aiding in that transition process of like, okay, this does exist. And so many people don't believe it does because they're not aware of it. So they're missing that ability, like that marketing, basically, to be aware that this lifestyle is accessible to many different types of people, and that this is an option. This is what we want to convey to the people, for example, who would be community members. We want to match people with their ideal communities.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys have done market research on your segments.
Very much. We realize our priority right now are the land owners and holders, as that's what we've began, right? It's kind of the chicken or egg problem. Like, do you map communities first, or do you find people looking to buy communities? And it's been an ongoing journey of conferences and calls, and we are doing our best to map both segments, but we definitely focused on the land vision holders, as they're the ones with investment and everything to lose, you can say, that really require more hands on deck for their vision. They're the ones that really greet us with open arms. And as we've followed this list of potential customers, users, inherently, people looking for communities see this database we're creating on a spreadsheet originally and are instantly drawn to what we're doing. Then we launched a Discord, a little bit more of a visual, interactive platform where people can conversate. You know, we did our Discord and people loved it, but it's not so user-friendly. It's quite linear, as nested lists of ideas. So our next iteration, which we launched a few weeks ago at Tribalize conference, which we co-hosted here in Tulum, we launched our networking platform, which looks a lot like a LinkedIn for, again, displaying the community and giving people the option to connect with them. Now merging the two worlds of Land Project, user A, and community members, user B.
Okay.
In this next quarter, our personal journey that we did in Q1 of describe what we do clearly. Now in Q2, one of our goals will be describe what we do clearly to each of the potential users, like direct value to them, direct call to action to them, and direct offerings for them.
Right. You're building out your segmentation funnels.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Right now, the goal was to get our macro offerings on the table so people can explore them, and to start creating content of what the macro goal is, which again is the regenerative movement embodied through the regenerative neighborhood movement. And this coming across through education, networking through the platform, right? Education through the catalyzer, networking through the platform, and one-to-one support through the agency and real estate land development.
Okay. And so this one sheet, what's the use of this one sheet? Where are you using it?
This one sheet was our first kind of like condensed explanation of us, right? Our three key departments, the catalyzer for education, the platform for networking, and the agency for one-to-one support. And then sharing kind of some key facts about the space of regenerative neighborhoods, why they're appealing, why we're investing our time as an organization, as a future business and operating business, and then a timeline of how this started from our nonprofit work in the plastic community creation space at first, to a first physical location that we branded and launched and found investment for. Our first year here in Quintana Roo in Mexico, and the journey to optimize that work we did with that first one-to-one project and make it scalable for projects out there looking to DIY it, right? Our model is that of an exponential organization. We don't hope to build all these 53 million communities on our own. It's impossible between three of us. We hope to provide the platform of education, networking, and support that others can use to use their energy to do it and find the support to get it done better and faster.
So this is outward facing. Is it, I mean,
this one
where is
pager
it? You said it's, so yeah, where are you, like, is this on your website? Is this going in like your social, like where are you?
It's on the website. Anytime we have a conversation with someone that we meet and they ask, oh, tell me more about Regen Tribe, first we send them this one pager. As just a high level, this is our vision, our mission, our massive transformative purpose, and the departments of how we're getting it done, where we've been and where we're going. This is our first kind of like warm up, aside from meeting someone in an elevator pitch and them going, wow, that sounds awesome, can you tell me more? We send them this one pager. This one pager is reflected on our website as well.
So where are you guys now versus where you're hoping to be?
Great question.
Do you guys care to share? I feel like I'm hugging the conversation. Obviously, I'm really passionate, and I know when I have it very clearly, I'm open for you guys to share. Please do.
Yeah, Oscar. I love Oscar talking because you're so good at explaining so clearly what we do. Where we are now is that we are living at this community. We recently moved in. We are structuring it and wanting to also make this a type of living headquarters and pull for people who are wanting to live in other communities because we're developing other communities nearby. We have some plans to travel to Europe over the summer and collaborating with different organizations. we're collaborating with Regen, Unite, and Rebuild to create Enchanted at Selgars in the UK. We're in talks with Cohere about collaborating with them because they, maybe you're aware of them, offer this amazing model and want to also use it in regenerative villages where you can earn equity even when you're nomadic. So earn equity in these regenerative neighborhoods, even if you don't stay in one of them all the time. You can migrate but still be building equity. So, and when we come back, we really want to continue this development of the pioneer community at our mainland project, the 400 hectares Kuyabe. And honestly, right now, I think as well, the Tribes platform is in beta. We want it fully functioning, and we want to have that critical mass of users to where it's exciting and people want to use it. Like I've been using it a lot and sharing updates and stuff, and I would hope that we can have 100 more people on there as excited as I've been, like uploading things and sharing things, because it becomes a bit more very much like social media, where you get to see what's going on, and then you also have this library of resources and this main calendar of events where you don't miss like regenerative events that are going on specifically in this context of like learning how to build regenerative neighborhoods. So yeah, like critical massive platform, and having more, just growing our team. And this kind of goes into the second half of the call, where we're looking to expand our collective and invite people in to get involved, because that will make it easier kind of for the process of both real estate, agency, land development. That will oil that process a little bit so that it's like lubricated and easier, rather than, because the hats on hats is a bit draining, and we want to kind of have this balance of moving forward and working with more people.
Yeah.
Right. So we definitely have tangible things that we want to achieve, but the bigger mission is to grow this collective, because we know this is how we're gonna have more regenerative neighborhoods. It's so we have two ways how we can get involved in the collective. For people that are starting their mission right now, we have an ambassador program. So we take new tribe members under our umbrella, and we support them in their process, introduce them to different tasks from all these departments. As you mentioned, there's a lot of things that are happening in the collective. So there's definitely things that you can choose from and see where you feel your power, and then grow in that. So this is the ambassadors program. But we also invite leaders from their departments to join the collective, like you already have your project running, and we still can connect on a partner level, which is what we want to cultivate and grow this collective.
Yeah, from the highest pragmatic, let's say, point of view, where we've been was really product designing. After our first land project that we branded and launched, we saw a lot of the components it takes to do that successfully. In the last year, we have organized that into the guide, which is the core of the catalyzer, and realized that a big networking push is necessary. In these last 6 months, we have formalized all of these offerings, both the platform, the guide, and us as a collective providing services to specific land projects. We're confident in where we are with that we have now taken on a second land project where we're living currently. This will be our, let's call it, live infomercial, where we will be broadcasting this journey to turn this land project into a regenerative neighborhood that is doing all the things it wants to be doing and feeling the way it wants to be feeling as an agency. The next steps that we're very much focused on, what we realize in the movement is critical, is the economy to be created of people with vision and land to be matched with people that have financial support to come together. So we're really focused on sales this next quarter and for the rest of the year, matching people that are looking for authentic regenerative neighborhoods where they can come and live in a sustainable and intentional manner to find projects that align for them and invest and bring money to the table for these projects to take their next steps in development. This is the real estate land development focus, which I would say and consider it to be one of the macro focuses of the next few quarters. We've divided the project up into departments because each department has its focus, right? The platform has the focus of bringing in more users. This platform is a very functional networking tool. At the same time, it's a funnel for us. This is what will bring in anyone interested in any of these topics, properties, service providers, whatever, into our funnel of interest. As a user, when you make a bio, one of the question sections is share with us your dream community. About 10 questions asking them what kind of amenities they're interested in. What's the intention of the place they'd like to live in? What are values and principles that are important to them in a regenerative neighborhood they'd be interested in? These questions are mirrored in the bios of the land projects that exist on the platform. In the next evolution of development, we will be creating a smart matching algorithm that will tie what the users are requesting with the bios of the land projects, creating a more streamlined approach at matching people with communities. And of course, we're the ones feeding that garden to connect these people to the potential land projects for buys. For the catalyzer, we will be hosting a weekly call for the next 12 weeks as we go over each one of the topics that we have identified as crucial for taking your idea of community to a manifested reality. These calls will help disseminate the information we've been gathering in a fun, effective way, but also will be a funnel leading people interested in either creating communities or learning about communities to the table of matching with potential buys.
So, Emily, I already see some potential for overlap, because I know the Story Seed marketing course is specifically geared towards regenerative entrepreneurs, right? And many of these communities are started by entrepreneurs. They sort of start out as a single vision holder, they're a leader, but then they sort of struggle to build community by themselves, and they don't really know how to get the word out. Two opportunities. It just occurred to me, sort of listening and then remembering what you do. It would be amazing to have you present about what you do at one of the calls, because one of the pillars that we have identified as important for communities is to strategize your marketing and funding. It's a huge thing. So if you wanted to present on that catalyzer call, it's the seventh pillar, so it'll be 7 weeks from now. But if you wanted to share about that and then basically use that as a funnel for people who are interested in taking that course with you, because we want to be connecting also service providers like Seeds of Tao that are offering very specific, very niche services to people in the field. So it would be beautiful to be able to promote what you're doing, and then also offer value to the people who show up who want to know how do I do this for my community? And then you can do a little soft sell at the end of oh, and by the way, our beta right now is this price. So that's just one way that I see potential overlap so that we could support each other. We'd love to give you a platform to be able to share about that. And then the other is, it would be really interesting, and maybe this is a seed to plant for now, for later, but diving into this really niche concept of not just regenerative entrepreneurship, but marketing and funding for and marketing is specifically your guys' superpower, as I understand, the storytelling. And I want to know what you're doing in Panama, but a seed for later would be developing these, how to develop your message as a community, because people also struggle with that in honing their vision and how to tell the story of their community to actually want to get people to visit and buy, because a lot of people are not they have their own skill sets. They're not necessarily trying to market and outreach to people. So, but aiding them to tell the story of their community would be interesting. Okay, what do you think? Those are two opportunities, and I would also like to know what you're doing in Panama, because I remember you messaged with so much enthusiasm about our overlap. I would love to see the overlap that you perceive.
And the fourth
Yeah.
thing that I have a request for is any feedback that you have for what we share with you would be really valuable. Yeah.
And a fifth thing, what's your Instagram?
Okay. Let me try to remember what number 1 was. Okay, I guess what Nicole was saying. Yes, that sounds great. We would love to present help however we can. I know if people are building a community and they're trying to get people on, that's just marketing and messaging.
Exactly.
Right. Which is, like you said, that's what we do. I don't know if Nicole knows a little bit more about our background compared to everyone else, but we had a branding agency. Our background's in entrepreneurship and marketing and branding and stuff. We had a branding agency that we were helping, the sexy high growth startups and, the big, young living and huge things. And meanwhile, I've got my PDC on the side and I'm doing regenerative blend design. And we're like, oh, but that's separate, right? Like that's a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got so frustrated with this like boundary in our life. And so we exited from the branding agency, and now we're trying to like use our superpowers for the good of regeneration, right?
Yay! Legend.
So there's that. A couple ways that I potentially see partnerships or overlap on the other end, like one thing that we're putting together that is just going to be open and free. We figured out a way to map the regenerative realm in terms of the entrepreneurs and their enterprises. And then you can sort by industry, you can sort by bioregion, you can sort by type of business or stage of business. Like, I think you guys would dig just looking at the tool, because it may help with some of this stuff, because
Right.
it nests things but hides it also. Anyways, I can send you a link to it so you guys can just look. We just barely released it. We have like 70 entrepreneurs right now, because it's all like manual putting. My calendar is like completely booked with, oh, I want to get on the map and I want to get on the map kind of a thing. But getting you guys on the map and appropriately hooked up to be in your bioregion in Mexico, right? But also like in your industry, in your service, all hooked up there would be great.
That's fascinating. Yes.
Another thing that we have, Nicole, about our think tanks that we do every month. You guys are more than welcome to come to the think tank and talk about Regen Tribe as an organization. It's just a free event, but entrepreneurs from all over the place come out and help each other work through and share resources. And you guys are a big resource connector, so it'd be like really good networking. And it's a bunch of entrepreneurs, and some of them are developing land. Like I know some of them are developing land to turn them into businesses, to turn them into communities, but they don't know necessarily how. So that the think tank may be helpful that way. It's also really good if you guys get stuck on like a business aspect, because it's just like a group think, right? I really need to bounce this idea off you guys, but it's a whole bunch of entrepreneurs who have specialties in different things, as opposed to just like hiring a coach for a specific niche thing, right? So that would be possibly something. Also, so of you, who would raise their hand as being like the founder? I know that's hard to ask, it's a collaborative or cooperative, but like the founder or like the entrepreneur kind of, I don't want to create division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here from day one, I'd say, right? This evolved from a nonprofit we had of like, my background is in community growth hacking, in digital tools, and in event and community growth marketing specifically. So all of those things came together with environmentalism, and now land development is how this kind of sprouted. But yeah, I consider them to be co-founders since like pretty much day one. And as we were doing the same exact things, aligning our mission and goals. So, but yeah, I guess it would be me.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you feel like as though you're the entrepreneur or have an entrepreneurial story to share, we also have a really great podcast where we like to have regenerative entrepreneurs come and share their story as
Cool.
like their entrepreneurial journey, but then you can also talk about what you're doing. So it's kind of another like
It's right up your alley,
stage
Yeah,
to
that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean,
talk at.
I'd
Because you're
be happy to
specifically
meet you as
talking,
well as we all
Yeah,
have. Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
specifically
definitely.
talking to the regenerative realm with our podcast.
Right.
So-
Very cool. Yeah, yeah. Would definitely love to collab on that. That'd be really awesome.
So yeah, that's some things that came to mind. Now I forgot all the other questions. You guys asked a bunch of questions and I forgot the other
I
ones.
asked about your Instagram.
Not on Instagram currently.
Oh, okay, okay, interesting. Any reason
Which
for
is-
that,
which
or
is
just
funny.
no bandwidth? You haven't wanted to?
We have, for us particularly dealing with entrepreneurs, we found LinkedIn to be a lot more effective.
Right.
And so our strategy for the channel growth and expansion maybe looks a little bit differently for other people because we're like sitting in this weird place between B2B and B2C.
Right. Right.
So Instagram will probably come. YouTube will be first for us because of where people are and what we're doing. However, as bioregional hubs, oh yeah, that was another potential like future collaborative thing. And also why we're in Panama. Okay.
Yes.
We came down to Panama to help a guy who had a permaculture farm. He needed someone to run the business and build it as a business. Turns out he was an investor and had no idea how to run a business and thought he was like ready for revenue, but he totally wasn't. But we liked it, so we stayed. And we just are totally saddened by all the rainforest being cut down here for the beef industry, like everywhere.
Right.
Like there should not be a man-made desert in Panama, but there is. Like why? Because people are eating so much beef. I don't know. And so
the man-made desert comes from what? From cattle pasture, and then
Yeah.
they just don't take care of the land, and it dries out and becomes desertified.
yeah, overgrazing. Yeah,
Right,
it used to
okay.
not be an issue here in Panama because they would have the cows up in the mountains, but the meat was too tough, and so they started bringing them down out of the mountains and then just burning
Okay.
and throwing the cows on, and it just wrecks it.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
really love living here and really want to help because no one talks about organic anything or sustainability anything, and our heart is just like, we will help. We will start the conversation. But we're going to use Panama as our first bioregional hub, where there will be a community, where there will also be spots for entrepreneurs to come and learn and stuff. Anyways, community is going to be in that. So when we're building out these hubs, you guys would be really good for us to connect to, because this is the only one that we're going to own. But we want literally an entrepreneurial bioregional hub in every bioregion, so that there's bioregional relevance for entrepreneurs building their businesses there. And
yes. Love this. Love this super alignment in that, right? As being digital entrepreneurs, we're here with our computers out in the middle of like the forest, of the jungle. A key for us in communities as we advise and suggest on infrastructure to projects is an innovation incubator style hub, like a mini co-work in your community that holds the space for business-minded entrepreneurs to come together in a conscious, regenerative mindset and pump out some businesses that bring value and an internal economy to the physical land project.
exactly.
This is what's needed. The projects that don't have a source of income and rely on the residents to pay for everything tend to fail, because a lot of tensions happen when money becomes scarce, which it does at times in different parts of each person's journey. So for the property to have a source of income, a lot of the times the easy one is real estate and hospitality. But there's a really beautiful space in the tech world now where 6 people with laptops can throw together a YouTube channel, an Instagram, an e-commerce page, and a little bit of online marketing and pump some like economy into the space. So this is a really beautiful partnership that could come from creating this kind of community space incubator model with everything that you guys are pumping out of your office.
Right. I think we would come to that from different angles, but it would like nourish the whole hub space, right?
Yeah.
Because that's our superpowers are not in the community building, right? That our superpowers are in the entrepreneurial side.
You would be the magic going into the buildings.
I would love to have you guys be part of the process of seeding these entrepreneurial hubs within the communities. Like one of our team members, Nina, is innovating and researching different models for something she calls eco-cultural innovation hubs, which also include an accessibility aspect where you're involving people who would normally be excluded. And so there's like a lot of DEI work that's going into it. So, and like entrepreneurship as a way for people to, in the local area, also be fed, you know, not just, you know, not just with food, but like with an opportunity to grow and learn and have certain skills that would otherwise be denied to them because of, you know, lack of resources or lack of education. So yeah, I see that as a beautiful potential collaboration in terms of like, if we want to build these models of the innovation hubs together, we could come at it from different angles, and we'd also have land projects that we could invite you in to create that model. So seeds for the future for sure, but I want to keep this all in mind. We like to have a big vision, like up here, and even if we just go here, like we're still higher than we are where we started.
I've got 5 minutes left, and then I've got to hop off.
Perfect.
So was there any other question that I didn't get to that you guys were asking?
I guess just feedback, general takeaways.
Right. Okay. I feel like this is really comprehensively thought out. I think your one pager is a lot. I know that it's for people who look further into it, but I would even segment that because it's not very digestible, right? They need like more relevant information. So really figure out, because you're selling them on the transformation. You're not selling them on how you're doing it necessarily. I mean, that comes later, but you need to focus in on that transformation, which you know from looking at the hero circle. Make it more story driven on the one sheet, because it's too much data and features, and it's too much. The text is too small. People are going to start glazing, and then they won't take away what you want them to. So it's a really powerful thing you guys have going. But if you say too much, you're going to lose them.
Nice. Yeah, that's really good feedback.
That's beautiful feedback. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so Emily, thank you for joining. Like, this is the exact purpose of this call, for us to share an update of what's going on in our world, and for the community that joins the call to share both what they see in that journey and to find ties between our magic and their magic, and how we can find synergy between these worlds and create more. Like the example of your entrepreneur content and trainings, right? Potentially being shared from innovation hubs at physical land projects in different places around the world.
Yeah, super cool. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Thank you for giving us that feedback. Would love to hear more from you and stay really in touch. It's good to have a better understanding of your services, right? Our process is huge on collaboration as a collective, both as of individuals and of organizations. So to know that these are your offerings as we meet people in our journey that are seeking and needing specifically those skill sets to be guided through, right? We're starting to make partners for different contacts for different things. Like the man who creates these beautiful pop-up fast win housing options. He's our partner for land projects that need these kinds of things. And I can see something really beautiful and similar in the entrepreneur space with you.
Yeah, and I know you guys are doing kind of that middle person thing, so we can definitely talk about like affiliate stuff too.
Definitely, yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go hop off, but thank you so much for inviting me. It was so good to meet all of you.
Seeds of Tao, everybody. What's the website, Emily? Seeds of Tao.
Seedsofdao.com. Tao like Tao Te Ching. T-A-O.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Ciao.
Okay, so that was a beautiful example of our ambassador call. The first 30 minutes of these calls every Tuesday will be focused on sharing a state of the collective, what's going on at Regen Tribe, what's going on with the regenerative neighborhood movement, and how you can get involved will happen in the next 30 minutes of the call, which we just did from 2:30 to 3, where participants can ask questions, explore some of the departments a little more in depth, and find out what speaks to them, how they can get involved, and how everyone can join the regenerative movement through the regenerative neighborhood journey that we're on. It's 3 o'clock right now. The team's here. Let's get this camera. Julia's in here. With the beautiful Nina.
Take a little screenshot.
But Nina's
We
in
missed
Japan
it.
right now, so her
The
time zone is
not
like
working.
totally off. Who knows?
Yes.
It's probably like 4 in the morning over there.
Probably.
Thank you for joining Regen Tribe. State of the Collective call every Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Join the collective.
Join the collective, join the journey,
Join
live
the
in community.
tribe.
Check out where we are at the moment. This is a beautiful cenote back there, an open face lake. It looks pretty harsh on my camera. Does it look so nice?
It looks beautiful in real
It
life.
looks beautiful in real life.
The only way is for you to come and check it out. Community Lab.
Community Lab.
Right. We're also inviting people to come physically here and join the collective on site, the Community Lab. We seek permaculture, magicians, kitchen magicians. We have a beautiful vegetarian kitchen that needs a little bit of love. We have a beautiful cenote that Nicole is just showing you.
Yep. She's doing the adventure on property, on site. This is our backyard right here, you guys.
Doesn't look that bad, does it?
Yep, we have beautiful spaces here for co-working. There is Starlink, huge round table for getting things done. It's a collective. Our whiteboard is up and in action, and our cuddle puddle has been moved over here. Proper community life. So thank you all for joining.
Tomorrow, catalyzer call, 2 p.m. every week. Wednesday, catalyzer call, and Tuesdays, state of the collective and ambassadors call.
Yes, join us tomorrow as we go through all of the beautiful resources, guides, and the Community Alchemy workbook on how to turn your idea of a community into a plan, find the right people, do the marketing, find the right team, and turn your vision into reality. Thanks for joining. This is Regen Tribe.
Hey, yo, signing off.
Regenerating the way we live on Earth.
You.